They thought putting her with the staff would humiliate her. But what the CEO said next turned every head in the room. The ballroom was glowing. Chandeliers sparkled, champagne flowed, and every guest at the retirement party wore smiles like trophies. It was her dad's night, 35 years at the company. Loyal, quiet, underestimated. Clara arrived in a simple dress, nothing fancy. She didn't care about the whispers. She was here for her father, not the politics. But when she checked the seating chart, her name wasn't anywhere near the family table. Instead, she found it, row 14, with the catering staff and janitors. She blinked. A mistake? But when she asked, the event planner just gave a tight smile. "That's where you've been placed." Her dad saw her being escorted back there. He looked confused, then embarrassed. But Clara just smiled and waved, pretending like it didn't sting. She sat down beside a woman in an apron and a teenage boy clearing plates. No one else seemed to notice her, except the waitstaff, who welcomed her like one of their own. Then came the speeches, laughter, toasts. And finally the CEO stood up, tall, silver-haired, commanding attention. "I'd like to say a few words about Harold," he began, gesturing to Clara's dad. "A man who's never asked for recognition, never demanded a spotlight." People clapped politely. Then the CEO's tone changed. "But tonight, I'm not just honoring Harold. I'm honoring the values he raised into his daughter, the woman some of you seated with the help." The room fell silent. Every eye turned toward Clara. Clara froze. Her heart pounded in her chest as the CEO continued, his voice sharper now, slicing through the room's polished silence. She didn't complain. She didn't cause a scene. She sat where she was told, with humility and grace, just like her father has done for decades. A murmur spread across the room. The senior managers shifted uncomfortably. Some avoided eye contact. Clara's dad looked stunned, his eyes glistening behind his glasses. The CEO stepped down from the podium and walked straight toward her table, toward the folding chairs and half-cleared dishes. He stopped beside Clara, then turned to the crowd. "Let me tell you all something," he said. "This young woman here, she built a non-profit that's helped over 5,000 kids learn to read in low-income neighborhoods. She's done more for this city than most of us in this room. And someone thought she belonged in the back." He gestured to the main table. "Not tonight." Clara didn't move at first, shocked. But then the CEO held out his hand. And slowly, with the entire room watching, she stood up. Not to applause, but to stunned silence. The kind that carries more weight than claps ever could. As Clara walked with the CEO toward the front, she could feel the weight of every stare. Some embarrassed, some apologetic, some just stunned. She held her head high, not out of pride, but because she refused to let them shrink her. Her dad stood up from his seat at the family table, eyes full of pride and emotion. He pulled out the chair beside him, the one that had been empty the whole time. And she sat down, finally, right where she belonged. The CEO leaned into the mic once more. "Tonight's not just about a retirement, it's about respect. The kind that doesn't wear a suit or sit by the chandelier. It's taught, and clearly it was taught well." This time, people clapped, real claps, hesitant at first, then stronger. Later, one of the senior managers came over with a glass of wine, awkward smile on his face. "Clara, I'm sorry. We didn't realize who you were." She looked at him calmly. "That's the problem. You shouldn't have needed to." Her words hit harder than a slap. After the party, her dad wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "You okay?" She smiled up at him. "I'm better than okay. You raised me right." He chuckled. "No, sweetheart. You taught them right tonight. True respect isn't about where you sit. It's about how you stand when it matters. If this story moved you, share it, because sometimes the quietest ones teach the loudest lessons. The next morning, Clara woke up to her phone buzzing non-stop. Her inbox was flooded. LinkedIn messages, emails from local journalists, even a voicemail from the mayor's office. Someone had recorded the CEO's speech. It was all over social media now. Woman seated with staff at father's retirement party silences entire room with grace. Daughter of retiree turns tables after being disrespected, and the CEO applauds her. Thousands of comments, some furious, some inspired, many apologizing for judging people by their clothes or by where they're seated. A few companies even reached out, wanting to collaborate with Clara's nonprofit. But she didn't post a single thing. She didn't need to. Instead, she took her dad out to breakfast. Same small diner they'd always gone to when she was little. They sat in the corner booth, shared pancakes, and talked about everything but the party. As they left, the waitress handed her a note. "Thank you, for all of us who've ever been seated in the back." Clara folded it gently, tucked it in her purse, and smiled. Because now she knew something deeper. You don't have to chase the spotlight. When you carry quiet power, the world eventually turns to face you. If you believe dignity and kindness should always have a seat at the table, even if it's in the back, share this story. The right people will hear it.